Hi, I'm Daisy Vulovich here at State College of Florida, and I want to welcome everybody to our 4th annual open house for our biotechnology program. I'm here with our Career and Technical Education AS recruiter and advisor, Jennifer Boris. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
And we are so happy to be hosting this year's event. For the last several years, and again what we hope to do tonight, is to showcase one of the premier SCF programs here at our Bradenton campus. Our biotechnology program is again one of our newer programs at the college, but is one that has certainly shown a great deal of growth and community responsiveness. Before I tell you a little bit about what you're going to hear tonight, I just want to ask you, as a recruiter, why are open houses like this so important?
Oh my gosh, open houses are so critical because it really gets the opportunity for potential students and also to employers exposure to our programs, our students, and all the great certificates and programs that we offer here at State College of Florida.
And so tonight you're going to be exposed to biotechnology. You'll learn that not only do we offer a 2-year associate's degree, but this year we're starting a certificate in biotechnology as well, because we've learned that many of our employers want students with some fundamental skills that maybe you don't even need to get to a 2-year degree to have. We're going to talk to some of our faculty who are engaged in international research with schools such as Yale and Harvard and all kinds of big name schools, and we are but a few that were invited into a very special project. You're going to hear from some of our employers. They are individuals who are using our students as interns. They are individuals who were interns and now have been employed by some of the local companies and now come back and use other students for interns. And you may even see a familiar face or two. One of my favorite stories is a student who left, went on to New College, got a degree, comes back to us and now is one of our lab techs. So you'll hear her story tonight too. But hopefully what you come away with is knowing that our biotechnology degree is one of over 30 career and technical education degrees that we offer at State College of Florida. And for the last 60 years, and hopefully for the next 60, we'll continue to explore opportunities to get our educators, our employers, our workforce together to respond to the needs of our community. So let's take a look at our biotech program tonight. So we're here at our 4th annual Biotechnology Open House, and we're so pleased to have our president, Dr. Carol Prosfield, here with us. And I'd like to ask you, Dr. Prosfield, I know with how busy your schedule is, why are events like this ones that you are so dedicated to attending?
Well, this is one of those events that I couldn't be more proud of. You see this program in its 5th year, actually. I think this is our 4th open house. And every year we have, it seems like more and more students who are interested in this, the types of careers they can pursue. And this year in particular, we have employers here with us, and we have students who've graduated from our program and who have come back to teach in the program.
And isn't it wonderful when we have our students boomerang back, and that way the current students see there is a future in this field. And we always love love having our alums hanging out with us too.
Absolutely, we do. And the more that we can inspire our young students, we have students here from our collegiate school who are trying it out. They want to see what we have here, and when they see students who have completed and are back, it shows them what their future could be.
You know, it's wonderful programs such as biotechnology that are part of our continuing workforce education programs. This particular one is truly an example of a program that kind of started with one employer asking us for help, and then it sort of evolved from there.
It has, and it's been wonderful year after year to see different employers stepping in, wanting to be part of the program, wanting to provide internships, creating opportunities for our students, and looking for that win-win-win for the employer, for the student, and for the college.
Absolutely. Well, on behalf of the students, we know how busy you are, so thank you so much for taking the time year after year coming out to this open house.
It's my pleasure, and the pizza really smells good.
Thank you. I'm with Mary Chilton from the Bradenton Area Economic Development Corporation. And Mary, why is biotech such an important part of economic development in Manatee County and our surrounding region?
Life sciences has been identified as a targeted industry sector for economic development. Generally, they are higher skill, higher wage jobs. We have an emerging cluster of businesses, and that attracts more business, and those businesses will need workforce.
So what advice might you give to a business? Because obviously they are such an important part of our program because they feed us information on our curriculum, they come to our advisory meetings and give us feedback on job opportunities and things we need to do differently to really present a real life experience in the classroom. What advice would you give to a company that might be a little reluctant to get involved with the college, the technical colleges, because they really are such an important aspect of continuing workforce education? How would you encourage an employer to get involved?
As technology changes for companies, it's very important for them to be at the forefront for educators, because the workforce coming up is only as good as what the educators can provide. So it's critical for them to be involved with the schools.
Well, you know, on behalf of my faculty in career and technical education, we are so fortunate to have people like Mary out there in the community working with us, working with employers, and bringing us together, because really the more that we can engage education and employers in talking about workforce needs, I think the better our future pipeline is going to be, don't you think?
Yes.
An important aspect of our open house is the opportunity for our local employers to come out and take a look at our lab facility, talk to our instructors, talk to our faculty, and we're so pleased to have with us someone from the Ross Camp Institute. Ashley, tell us what it is you do at Ross Camp.
Hi, I'm a research assistant chemist. What I do is synthesize drugs to be used for tests in vitro and in vivo. The institute.
So why is a program like our biotechnology program important to an employer like Ross Camp?
When we're looking to hire someone, we're looking for someone who already has some experience working with the instrumentation that we use in the lab. We're very high-paced. We have a lot of work that we do, and we're looking for someone who can hit the ground running when they start.
Many of our employers here in the local area have been getting involved in things like advisory councils and internships. Why are those experiences so important to employers, having students have some of those work-based or field experiences?
Employers know that if they've had a little bit of experience, even just for a couple months, it can really make a difference on how well that they adjust to a new position.
So it's really something like an internship is an opportunity for the student to test out their work style and workflow, and also for the employer to kind of take a look at how does this person fit into our culture.
Of course, how someone can adjust, how well that they do at the beginning versus at the end is very important.
Well, we are so pleased. Ross Camp has been a partner of ours since we started the idea of this degree. So we are so pleased to have you with us, and year after year they have provided wonderful opportunities for our community, and we look forward to future opportunities. So Ashley, thank you so much.
No problem, thank you.
The AS Biotechnology degree at SCF could not have happened without the very, very close relationship that our faculty, staff, and students have developed with local employers. And the constant changing and tweaking of our curriculum wouldn't happen without getting feedback from local employers. Each year when we do our open house, we're so ecstatic that some of our employers take the time to visit us here on campus, talk to our faculty, staff, and students. With me is Randy Sleet with Lakewood Amedex. And so let me ask you, Randy, why is a program like this so important to your company?
Well, our company is a biotech. And although it's virtual right now, in the future we may have opportunities for students from this program. But what it gives these students in this area is an opportunity to learn what is maybe in their future, if they are excited about what they're doing, to get into drug development in the pharmaceutical industry. Florida right now is very, relative to the rest of the country, like Boston or San Francisco or other biotech hubs, it's young, and it's emerging. And with having this available for them, for companies, having students with backgrounds in wet lab and this type of work, makes it an opportunity for Florida to bring companies here so that they know they have an educated population that can work with them.
So it sounds like being situated in Florida for somebody who's new to the field, that the opportunities could really be exponentially growing here rather quickly.
Well, they could. Quickly is it's possible.
It's relative.
Right. The program here is a 2-year program. These students will have to go on, get their 4-year degree, and if they decide go to graduate school or whatnot. But this is where I think they really find out that this is something that really excites them. And I think that's the key to early education, especially here. Because once they get turned on, you know, they can do anything.
And of course, if you haven't had a chance to meet some of the people here tonight, we have several students that did just that. They started out here, they got their 2-year degree, they went on somewhere else to get a 4-year degree, and they've boomeranged back to our area. So that does happen.
That's good, yes.
Well, on behalf of our Career and Technical Education program, I love when I see employers come to events like this. So thank you very much, and we look forward to working with you and enhancing Florida's role in biotechnology.
Thank you.
The favorite part of the open house for many of us is getting the opportunity to talk to our students. And Camila is one of our current biotechnology students. And so I'd like to ask you, because a lot of people don't really know what biotech is, what made you decide to major in biotech here? What's of interest to you in this program?
Well, I want to be a PA in the future, and I don't really know which field I want to go into yet. There's so many different things you can go into, and I just kind of want to scope out all the different things that I can get into and see what biotech really is about.
What's your most favorite part of biotech so far? What class or what work have you done that you've really been passionate or excited about?
I really like looking at all the different things under the microscope and seeing all the cells, and I think it's really cool how technology has advanced and how you can see all these different things.
So looking in the microscope is something Camila likes to do. But that's true that you spend a lot of time doing just that, is looking through the microscopes and working on cultures. If you were going to advise somebody who isn't sure about whether or not this is a program for them, how would you encourage them to get involved?
I would probably tell them everything that it's really about and all the cool things that biotech provides and what you can learn from it.
Well, are there a lot of girls in your class, or is it mostly men? How's the makeup?
It's mostly girls. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, girl power. We like that. All right, well, Camila, where are you at in the program? First year, second year? How are you?
I'm at my first. I was dual enrolled for my senior year, and then I'm at my first semester of this.
So this is your first semester here on campus completely?
No, I was here last year. Yeah, for my senior year.
All right, very good. Well, dual enrollment. Now, there's another way, parents, to get your students to earn some college credit long before they have to get to college.
Save a lot of money, too.
A lot of time and money. So, Camila, thank you so much and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Biotechnology is still one of the relatively newer programs at the State College of Florida, but it's one that has certainly gained a lot of momentum and a lot of recognition very early on. And one of the people that helped pioneer this program is Dr. Warrick. So let me ask you, how have you seen our biotechnology program change over the years from the time it started, about 5 years ago to today?
Well, it has become really a way to get students here. The main thing about the program, it combines chemistry, biology into a package that the students can learn, the students can have, and then go out to the world, to the real world, and be directed into a job, into many, many jobs, with the training and the ability to do whatever the job entails. And one of the things that, to me, that I've seen it change is that now that we have graduates that have been not only here but now in the workforce, come back and give all the reasons why the program was worth it, what did they have learned, because they really learn to analyze problems. They really take problems and they work them through to the simplest solutions. And that in itself is what the program has offered them.
Well, and it says so much that in a program that's only been around for a few years that you said the word graduates. Yeah. So we're getting students finishing our program and going on and getting some very good paying jobs.
Yes. In fact, one of the people you may interview a little later is one of my students, one of Matt Thomas's students, and she's gone from a simple technician job that she got after she interned with a company. The company offered her a technician job, and now she's the director of R&D. Wow. So, and this has been in a period of, let's say, 3 years.
Wonderful.
So it's been, and then many other stories like this that have happened since I've been here. And so when I first came, the program was just in the infancy, and now it's just blossomed into something that's really worthwhile.
And of course, the fact that we actually have graduates getting job opportunities before they're even finished with the degree says a lot about how important the work is that we're doing. So on behalf of industry and career and technical education, thank you so much for all your efforts.
Thank you, Daisy. Thank you.
I am so happy to welcome back someone who's been with us in different roles over the last few years, and that's Kristy. Kristy, tell us what you currently do at SCF.
I am currently a lab technician inside of the prep room area where I get to prep all of the biotechnology classes and as well as other biology classes offered here.
And how did we first encounter you?
I was a student here at SCF.
We do employ our own, so that does say something good about us too, doesn't it? What is it like going really kind of like from one side of the podium or lab desk to the other? How's that feel?
Very fun. I get to see all the behind the scenes work now that we prepare for labs.
You get to see that our faculty are human.
Yes, they are.
We won't say anything more about that one. But how do you see the program changing? Because you were in sort of like one of the early years of the program, and now we've been around for a few years. How have you seen us change what we do in the lab and the classroom?
There's already been a lot of significant changes since when I took it. So if I'm prepping a lab, I can't rely on my notebook to remind me hey, this is what we did before. There's a lot of new techniques that are getting incorporated as we can every semester, every year, if we can do it. So there's a lot of up-to-date.
And part of why that happens is because the biotechnology program has a very close working relationship with our employers out in the local area, and we do a lot of interning with our students working out in the field. You were an intern, weren't you?
Yes.
And how was that experience?
It was a lot of fun. I got to see how I worked in Osprey Biotechnics, and I got to help them do a lot of bacteria that are environmentally friendly. So you get to see behind the scenes there of how they do a lot of their chemicals.
So a lot of the work that you did in lab now becomes real life in terms of how you process and document. Right?
Yes, definitely, because in their lab they need to do it to make a profit, whereas here I'm doing it as a student, so it makes a big difference in how that plays out.
So at what point do you feel like you will become the new biotechnology program manager? Okay, we won't tell Matt Thomas about that one. Well, it's always wonderful to see you, and it's just wonderful to know that our students do boomerang back to us in different roles. And it's good to hear that we're making changes, because I think that really does mean we're trying to be really workplace ready and workplace responsive.
Yes, our students come out very strong in the lab, ready to go.
Well, thank you for being such a good role model for all of them. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Our biotechnology program is one of over 30 degree programs we have in our career and technical education area. With me is Kristy Richardson, the manager for business and student engagement in career and technical education. And I want to ask you, why is this role so important to programs like biotechnology? Basically, what is it that you do?
Well, thanks for the opportunity. Biotechnology, digital design, any career and technical education program needs that authenticity. We need to have experiences where the students and the instructors and the business community partner together to show those students what real-life application they are going to be involved in during their career pathway. So I go out into the community, I work with the Chambers of Commerce, the EDCs, I work with all different entities to get those employers in fields like biotechnology to know that we have students that will be their future talent, and that we have field trip hostings available, we have shadowing opportunities, or they can serve on our advisory committee.
So really, in terms of employer engagement, there are lots of levels of engagement opportunity.
Absolutely. They can be involved as many hours a year or as few hours a year as they want, or they can just help us with resources like equipment donation or any kind of donation.
All right. Well, career and technical education wouldn't do the job that we do with our employers, our faculty, and our staff without dedicated people like Kristy. So we really appreciate the opportunities that Kristy provides for our faculty and our students and our employers to get together. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Daisy.
I'm here with Matt Thomas, who is the head of our wonderful biotechnology program. And before, I've got a few questions I want to ask you, but just in general now, we've been doing this for a few years. Still enthusiastic about it?
Oh yeah, it's still fun. Well, you know, I'm easily bored, so I'm always looking for something new. And the colleagues and the advisory council help keep things new and fresh. So we're always got new challenges, and makes it it's keeping it fun.
So talking about fun and things that are exciting and challenging, can you share a few stories about students and some of the things that you've been doing the last year or so?
Right. Well, we've had, part of the program is internships. So the interns go out, do neat things, and we've had some really kind of good results lately that affected a business in a very positive way. So it's an intern doing something besides shuffling papers, which I know a lot of people think that's what an internship's about. But we had an intern go to Three Daughters Brewing, which we have a relationship with because one of our graduates is the head of their lab, which made for a nice connection. But they started doing some experiments on studying the yeast they use in the brewing. And we actually did it in collaboration with SCF. So they did some of the experiments here. They did some of the work at Three Daughters. And they're finding out things that are saving them significant amounts of money in their brewing process from studying basic research about the yeast. So that's kind of a great, really neat thing that's gone on the last year.
So what a great return on investment. They get an intern who's got some very raw skill, put them into a real-life work environment, and it sounds like the company is benefiting quite a bit.
Yeah, right away. So that's been really kind of fun. Plus, we're learning something new about that strain of yeast that we didn't really know about. So it kind of makes for interesting things we can bring back to the classroom here at SCF. So we got that kind of stuff going on.
What about other kinds of neat stories?
Well, one thing, too, is SCF has this program in microbiology called the Small World Initiative, and that program is about studying antibiotics and microbes in the environment, and it's collaborating with the biotech program. And what we have been able to expand upon is Small World and the biotech got some neat equipment from the foundation this year. So generous community members have contributed to the school that's letting us do new things, and we're going to start testing the reagents or the materials the Small World is isolating and purifying to find out if they're really toxic or not, which is the first step really into understanding pharmaceuticals. So we're bringing kind of a pharmaceutical bent to some of the biotech classes that we weren't able to do, partly because of community help, the foundations help, and just me and Professor Warrick wanting something new and exciting for next year's class to do.
So they both get easily bored, it sounds like, too. So, but talking about any new offerings in the biotech program?
Yes, this year or this semester really, is the first time we're offering the biotech certificate. This is a 19 credit hour program, and it gives you a base taste of the program. But what I'm thinking about is that AA student who is really interested in biotech but can't really commit to another degree. So here they take maybe 2-3 classes on top of their AA, they get a biotech certificate. And and our industry partners have said, that'll be a good resume builder. Plus, if you're going to go do biomedical research, it's a good foundation. And you get a start here before you go off to where you're going.
And that's something I've heard in several of the interviews tonight with employers, with students, is the wonderful foundation that you provide for them. And the fact that that foundation continually shifts based on what the workforce is telling you they need.
That's right. So, we're in constant contact with various partners. Plus, we're keeping track of what's going on in the industry. And we bring that back to the classroom, make sure students have a good, solid foundation to be competitive and better than our sister programs. We want to be the #1 program.
Okay, we like that. We're #1 in biotechnology, and partly due to the efforts or maybe the boredom of Dr. Matt Thomas, who's always looking for something else to do. So thank you so much, because truly this is one of the star programs, and we have many at SCF, but biotech has certainly risen to the top.
It's been an exciting 5 years, and looking forward to the next 5.
Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.
So one of the initiatives that the college has been involved with for several years involves Professor Warrick. So I'm going to ask you to tell people who may not know about the project that you've been working on that has brought really international acclaim to the college. Tell us all about it.
Sure, that initiative is known as the Small World Initiative, and that project was initially formulated at Yale University. The college was selected in the initial year, 4 years ago, to be selected in doing the project.
And it was a competitive selection process.
Correct. So currently today, about 100 schools typically apply for 20 to 24 slots. So when I applied, it was about the same. About 100 schools had applied, and we were selected as one of only 3 community colleges. And what this project entails is going into your local environment, isolating bacteria from the local environment, and challenging those bacteria to see if they can produce any antibiotics. So there's an ongoing crisis right now where there's multi-drug resistant bacteria, and it's very difficult to treat those infections, and the medical community is always looking for new alternatives to try to treat these infections. Unfortunately, people are passing away from these diseases and infections, and we need new alternatives, and that's looking for new antibiotics. So the Small World is empowering students, not me, but students, to be able to use their local environment to find new antibiotic-producing bacteria. So my students will take the course. They sign up for just regular old microbiology, MCB 2010, and I have one section that does this. It meets Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 12:30 and 12:30 to 2:50. And our students will, in this section, go to the local beaches. We're the only school in the entire world. There are now over 250 schools involved in this worldwide. And we're the only school that focuses on the marine environment. So our students have discovered new bacteria, novel, never before seen, and we are working on identifying what these antibiotics are that they're producing. So we have published one publication in a scientific journal, and we're hoping to put another publication out within the next couple weeks, and we'll see if that gets accepted. But we are finding new strains of bacteria, and when you're finding new strains of bacteria, you believe you're going to hopefully be finding new antibiotic molecules. So I've partnered here locally with Dr. Thomas in the biotech program. Fortunately, I see all of his students. So we have been working extensively together. He teaches the DNA class here. So I give him DNA from these novel organisms. The students in the biotech classes then are trying to figure out, well, what are these strains of bacteria? And it's a great way that the students can see application to everything that they're doing in these classes. Is they start something in micro, they'll bring it back to the DNA class, the bioinformatics class, and we're working on now moving into cell culture.
So one of the things I hear you saying, actually many things, but one is that there's a lot of collaboration between different science departments in terms of getting to the work that the Small World Project wants students to do.
That's correct.
The other part is, I've heard you say more than once, that SCF really has a very special role in this because there aren't many other schools like us that are involved in this project.
Correct. So in the state of Florida, there are 3 other academic institutions that have been accepted into the Small World, and we recruited all but one of them.
Okay.
So we are very unique, and like I said, we're the only school that's focusing on the marine environment. So we're now working in the cell culture class. So we're now looking at, are these antibiotics that we're extracting from these bacteria toxic to eukaryotic cells? So we don't really want to have anything be toxic to a eukaryotic cell because those are the type of cells that you're made out of. We want the antibiotic to be toxic to bacteria but not to humans. And if it does take on these cytotoxic effects to mammalian cells, those compounds could then go down the role of being used for chemotherapies for humans for anti-cancer properties potentially. So
it's amazing that the kinds of things that companies are spending probably millions and millions of dollars on, we here at SCF have classes that are just a few college credit hours that get you some truly remarkable, again, internationally respected experiences. So you can tell that Dr. Warrick's very passionate about what he does and that he's also very dedicated to giving students a very high quality experience in this program. So thank you so much for all your efforts, and we look forward to seeing what y'all have come up with next year.
thank you.
When you start an academic program, you're always worried about, are you teaching the students what they really need to know, and ultimately, are they going to get a job? Here is a success story here with Desiree. So Desiree, you were a student in the biotech program, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And did you do an internship?
Sure, yes. I interned at the Quality Assurance Lab at Three Daughters Brewing in St. Pete.
Okay. And so, since your internship experience, tell us what's happened at Three Daughters.
Well, I now run their brewery lab and help with all fermentation and chemical hygiene, and I am the director there, so I get to have my own interns now.
And so in the span of how long did all this happen?
So I graduated, and in 2013, the end of 2013, 2014, I did my internship in December. They hired me on after my internship directly, did not let me leave, and I have been there 3 years now.
Wow. Okay, so I hear that we must have done a pretty good job getting you qualified to go out as an intern.
Oh, yes. So everything that I use in my day-to-day testing and science was all foundation learned here. So chemistry, organization, use of equipment, and just technique and in general standard operating procedures and things like that. All of it came from this program.
That makes me so happy. So what we've got here is a pretty good foundational setting for students.
Oh, absolutely. So everything that you see in your normal lab and a working lab in your job or career is the same exact equipment that we use here that we train on in our biotechnology program. So everything that you have here that you are doing your experiments on and your techniques you're using, all of that transfers directly over into your work.
And so what advice would you give a student who isn't sure about whether they should go into a degree like this? What would you tell them that would be encouraging to maybe sway them over to becoming a biotech major?
So my thought is do what you love and what you are interested in, and give yourself some time, and know that you only have to put in some effort, and that if people like me who have a big family at home and a lot of things on their plate, everyone can do it. You just have to put in effort, and you have to just understand that you have a great foundation. You have great teachers and professors here that want you to succeed, and that's a really good start for whatever you want to do in the future.
And do what you love and the money will follow.
Oh, yeah, and I love what I do. I was really, really lucky to have a foundation from our state college here.
Okay, well, Desiree, thank you so much. We appreciate hearing our graduates come back with such wonderful success stories. And not only that, but helping us employ future graduates. We appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
I'm with two of our premier faculty administrators here at our Bradenton campus, Dr. Richard Barnhouse, who's our Vice President for Strategic Enrollment, and Dean Michael Kiefer, who's the Dean of our Bradenton campus. And so I want to ask each of you, why are activities like open houses so important for students and parents and the community? Because, you know, we spend a lot of time trying to gather up people to attend events like this, and I always think no matter how many people have come, gee, I wish we had reached some more people. Why are events like this important to students, staff, the community?
Well, I think of two reasons right off the top of my head. Number one is I think there are a lot of students and parents that don't understand what careers are available. So just starting with what careers are available. And then number two, can I get training and education for that right here in my community? And the answer to that is yes, at State College of Florida. And so I think when parents and students come in, they learn about new opportunities, and then they realize all of the things that State College of Florida has to offer them right here at home. And so I think it's really important to come in and take a look at all the different opportunities that are here.
Dean Kiefer?
I think these kind of events are very special in the sense that it provides a college an opportunity to really showcase a particular academic discipline, creates interaction with the program director, the faculty, even the students that are involved in the program, that you wouldn't necessarily get if it was just a general open house or a general type session over all academic related areas in the college at large. So that specific I think opportunity to connect with an academic major, understand what the industry kind of demands are or opportunities are, I think that's a pretty special situation.
And you're right, we often go out to high schools, we go out to community centers, we go out to companies and talk about the kinds of programs and services that we offer, but it really doesn't beat the hands-on, come to campus and see what we've got going on. As the Dean of the Bradenton campus, what are some other selling points for students to come to SCF and particularly to come to Bradenton?
Well, I think the Bradenton campus, like any of our campuses, really offers a variety of academic programs, support services to help foster student success in those programs, but the variety in terms of delivery modes, times of delivery, morning classes, afternoon, evening, weekend classes, online delivery modes, hybrid modes, it really almost provides something for everyone. Maybe not for every specific program, but many of our programs have that variety that I think students are looking for today.
Great point, great point. So really it's crib to crypt. We could serve just about any age student, but I know one of the things you particularly focus upon are the graduating high school students. What kinds of activities are we doing out in the high schools to promote SCF?
Sure. Well, we're spending a lot of time in the high schools in the way that we haven't in the past, and so we've got a full contingent of recruiters that are out and really trying to help the high schools in our region understand what we have to offer, that it's not an impossibility to go to college, and that we're here to help students all the way along, which oftentimes means that we're helping the parents understand too, and taking the concepts of financial aid out to high schools and out to administrators in the high schools, and to parents as well at different events where parents are attending on campus and athletic events, and helping people understand that it's not difficult to attend college. You just have to make the decision to do it and then follow through. And so we're spending a lot of time out in the community talking about those things.
So in some respects, helping people make that first step, because that's usually the toughest step to make.
Absolutely, and particularly if the student is the first in college or the first person in the family to go to college, it's really beneficial to get out there and help people understand this isn't for a few people, this is for everybody, and this is what the state college system is for. And in particular in our area, State College of Florida, is that you can really get your start here and go wherever you want, whether it's complete a baccalaureate degree here, complete an AS program and go into the workforce, or transfer onto a university. And so I think once students and parents get on campus and they can see everything that we have to offer, and learned a little bit about the quality of the academic programs, it becomes a no-brainer. This is the right place for me to start.
And of course, we've been doing this for 60 years as SCF celebrates its 60th anniversary, serving Manatee and Sarasota counties. So thank you both so much for attending our open house today, and we look forward to seeing you at SCF. It's always exciting for me to be here in the lab to kind of get a first-hand view as to what we do with some of the wonderful equipment we have here. So, Alicia, tell me what it is you're looking at right now.
This is actually a cheek cell from my cheek. And if you can see, now that it's changed, you see that? That's the nucleus of that cell. And this one tells us if it's live or dead. See how it's very light there?
Yes.
That means it's still living, as far as I can show.
Which is probably good news for you, too.
Well, they can die very quickly if you rub too hard. And I'm going to show you something really neat. If I can get everything done quickly. Here we go. Come on.
What is this machine you're working on?
This is actually originally used for counting cells. The machines need to count the cells quickly, so it uses a machine like this. And it'll tell that to count them to see. Let's say we're working with a cytotoxin. We want to know if it really works. If you count how many are dead to alive, you can tell if hey, this works, and if it doesn't, hey, you got to find something else. See that?
So with this, you can it looks like it's a combination of a microscope and you're also actually capturing an image.
Yeah. And also it works with dyes. That's why it has colored lights. So I can tell this is a live cell right here.
And I can tell you like what you do here.
I love it. I'm actually microbiology. I'm working towards microbiology. Did you see The Small World yet?
Yes, I did. You're involved in that?
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Warrick is certainly a very enthusiastic supporter of that, isn't he?
Yes. Oh, go downstairs and go to the main office. You'll see my name on a plaque.
And what is the plaque say?
The plaque is for, I've won the first annual conference for STEM.
Well, congratulations. You do us proud. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Well, students like Alicia show us how enthusiastic and how special some of our programs here are at SCF, like our biotechnology program, because certainly you've gotten a chance to see the wealth of support and resources we get from employers, from our administration, from our faculty, from returning students, students who have graduated and come back to work for us, students who have graduated and been promoted and now are using our interns to further their respective businesses. So I think it all points to the fact that SCF continues to be a program that's responsive to employer needs and looks at cutting-edge opportunities for our students here in Bradenton and at Lakewood Ranch and at Venice. But our open house was here at Bradenton, and year after year we're happy to host and really show off the kinds of things going on here. When you look at the laboratory, the employers telling us the kinds of workers they're getting from our program, and the students who graduate and come back, I think it's really thrilling, and it makes me feel very good to know that SCF is the type of place that over 60 years continues to support the workforce needs in our community.